Merry Christmas Eve, all, and welcome to Part of the Passion Project, and this is going to be a holiday special of sorts. This is called A Miracle Story for the Holidays by Roof Above Treatment. From what it sounds like, it is a story of a client that went there. Chris grew up in Pembroke as part of the Lumbee tribe, and what he describes as a middle-class family. As a boy, he was bright, curious, and part of the NASA Science Club with a dream to be an engineer. It wasn't until high school that his life began to derail through drugs and alcohol. Chris remembers vividly the downward spiral that began in the 10th grade. He went through an addiction treatment program, but recovery was temporary. Even Chris ended up experiencing homelessness in Charlotte. Between 2002 and 2004, Chris cycled between the Urban Ministry Center and the men's shelter of Charlotte. He talks about the bridges he slept under, the dumpsters that he foraged in, and the railroad tracks leading to no way out. At times, Chris huddled under the I-277 bridge. I just felt hopeless, he said. Slowly, the support offered began to take hold. The Narcotics Anonymous meetings at UMC were his first lifeline, and Chris remembers attending the daily sessions with 20 to 30 other people. During one of his stays at the men's shelter, it was a counselor named Billy Godwin who first tried to help Chris find hope. Billy spoke with hard truth to Chris. I see potential in you, but you have to want it for yourself, which is very true. I began a winning streak for Chris's life, a job at Walmart, an apartment for $120 a month, a new start at CPPC, enrolling in engineering class, but through a bad relationship, Chris went off track once again, losing his sobriety and a downward spirals of wrong decisions. Almost 9 years passed, cycling in and out of treatment and homelessness. Chris recalls his turning point in February 2009. He was walking in a snowstorm with no jacket, only the clothes on his back, and he remembers wanting to die. Chris didn't want to live like this anymore. I asked God once again, please, just don't allow me to wake up. But Chris did wake up in a hospital where his life had once again been saved from alcohol poisoning and exposure on a frozen, snowy night. Chris remembers being in a rage as he discovered he didn't die. Looking back, it's funny how when I begged God to take me out of the world, he didn't. I can relate to that. It made Chris realize I had spent 10 years destroying other people's lives and my own. Now it was time to give back. That is what Chris has spent the last 10 years doing. He went back to school several times to earn his 3 levels of nursing certifications, CNA, LPN, and RN. Along the way, he made the president's list with over a 4.0 GPA and earned scholarships to pay for all his education. As president of the LPN nursing class, Chris gave his graduation speech and ended up marrying Michelle, an incoming nursing student who was in the audience that day and was moved by his impassioned words. Now at 41, Chris is surrounded by the family he is creating as both a father and a new grandfather. All of that is a miracle, but here is the really great part. After that struggle and all that homelessness, Chris finally landed his dream job. He is now an assistant director of nursing at Hopeway, Charlotte, First Residential Mental Health Treatment Center. I have been looking for this my whole life, Chris said. I can restore hope. Chris restores hope daily for clients at Hopeway, but now he also wants to offer hope at Roof Above as well. He wants to volunteer to help others experiencing homelessness know their way out, know that there's a way out. Chris gets choked up when he talks about special Christmas presents from his wife, Michelle. She photographed his past, the bridge she slept under, the dumpsters, the Urban Ministry Center, and the men's shelter of Charlotte. This framed photo collection hangs in their home as a reminder of how far he has come. Chris describes it as his daily reflection. I never want to forget I made it out. Chris thinks about all the times he asked God to take his life and about Garth Brooks' song, Unanswered Prayers. I am so glad God didn't answer my prayers to die. Chris says he had a better plan.